Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome back. So, before I'd go through today's price action, trades I got into, of course, and how it all went. It was a pretty slow day, Monday, no news, so I like to call it no news Mondays. There was no news at all to push price in any particular direction today, although we're still bearish on gold. So essentially, I was still looking for bearish setups only, and we did get one that I took. It was an okay setup. Market was pretty slow though. It did hang around for quite a bit before going in my direction. So I'll go through that today and how it all went. So let's start off with the H4. Let's kind of recap. Right, you know what? Let's start off with the weekly. Let's recap and go kind of from there. Right. Weekly, we've of course taken this major level over here. Liquidity, we rejected it really hard, came back down last week, and this week we can anticipate more sells. So let's then go down into the 4-hour time frame. Now on the 4-hour time frame, last week we had this massive move down, no stopping it at all, until it kind of got close to this area over here. Now that is also a daily engulfing actually. It's not the strongest engulfing, reason being is because it took 1, 2, 3 candles to engulf this one candle, but it's still regardless an engulfing zone, so we still keep an eye on it and we see how price reacts to it when it comes over to him. So had my eye on that, of course. Now before price even came into there, I wanted to see what kind of sell setups we had and where we could react from. I had this zone marked up, so it was support, now turned resistance over here. So over here was support, and then over here it turned into resistance. So I was expecting price to reject from there, and then on a lower time frame see what kind of things we get in order for us to see if there were any setups. So let's just jump down into the 15 minutes and see what happened. So 15-minute time frame, price comes in, of course. I think this was late in the night, 1 a.m. Price comes in, reacts, takes some form of liquidity over here. So let's assume this is liquidity, so LG. And then of course it gives us an internal break of structure just over here. So that was kind of the first sign that we do want to go down. So also another thing to note is we did actually react off another engulfing over here, so that made it more high probability. Now after that, what happened? So as we can see, price moved down. It gave us another engulfing right over here, from here over to here. This is the candle that was engulfed. It took 2 candles to engulf it. Still, it did engulf it. Price did come back slowly all the way over to here into that zone before reacting one more time. So then once that happened, we'll leave that there. Once that happened and we got another break of structure over here like this, and at this point I think it was in the morning, yep, I woke up and I was starting to look at price action. I had my eye on this for a minute. I was like, let's see how this goes. This is a clean engulfing on the M15 for buy. Price came in, rejected, started to move away from it, but then I did have my eye on the order flow as well, and had my eyes on this to continue moving down. So sales are more high probability, of course, because we're essentially looking for sales. We know that the week is more likely to sell than to buy, just because of the large rejection that we had last week, taking major liquidity. So we're expecting pro move on gold to move down. We also had Biden pull out. We know Trump is very bullish on dollar, so essentially political side of it also kind of fits the narrative really well as well. So taking everything into account, sales are the high probability thing to do. So then price of course came and reacted off this over here, this engulfing over here. Now I wanted ideally a break below this. I wanted it to confirm that we really do want to go down before I take any setups basically. Now once we did have a break of this, I decided to go to a lower for a time frame today because the market was moving a lot slower. I decided to go on to the M1 and take setups from there and kind of do more lower time frame setups and entries instead of high time frame SNR entries. So looking at it, on the M1 we had this very clean M1 engulfing over here. Price came, totally ripped through that, and then we never had price come back to it. So essentially I was waiting for price to come tap into that and then give us some sort of entry. Now I'm going to show you what the entry we got. It's a lower time frame setup, not SNR, but regardless is very good. So step one, of course, if we have a look, we did come into here, EG zone. So this was the EG zone, and we had a rejection. We had a rejection of that zone. After the rejection happened, we then had a break of structure over here, internal break of structure over here, because essentially the external break of structure would be somewhere over here, but that hadn't happened yet. So internal break of structure. Now we're looking for any kind of setup. Now the setup that I saw, which is what I took, was entry from over here, this candle over here. Now essentially this is a lower time frame setup. It's just a late inducement setup. I'm sure you've all seen this before, but essentially price comes down like this, moves back up first, comes back down, goes there, and then essentially it creates this internal inducement, so internal liquidity, comes into some form of POI and then goes. And now this is one of the types of inducements we have where this doesn't break that. Another type you have is price comes down, breaks, and then goes like this, where this also becomes the internal range liquidity. These are both low time entry models. The one we had today was this one over here. So as we can see, if I zoom in slightly more, let me just clear that up very quickly. Let me just highlight one more time for you. Break of structure over here. We had this clear POI from here to here with imbalance. Price then came and created this internal liquidity just over here, just below the POI, and then as you can see here, it never broke the low over here. So therefore it was this, this lower time frame entry model that we had today. Yeah, entry over here, and because it was quite a slow day, I was only aiming for the low over here, and then that was it. Once they hit TP, it was about 1246, I think. I've included the statement from today in this video for you to see. But yeah, that was it. Apart from that, rest of the day was kind of slow. I think gold just kind of creeped back up. I expected to kind of come higher today actually, than where it was right now. So I'm expecting kind of, maybe reactions off here, over here, or if let's go to the 1 hour and see what we have. On the 1 hour, I would prefer it if this continues kind of moving up. If this zone over here fails, I would then prefer to kind of sell from this zone over here, looking at it tomorrow instead. So those are the kind of zones I'm looking at. So kind of expecting price to continue going up, maybe a reaction of here or over here to continue with the sells. But that was it. That was the recap for today. Thank you very much. Bye bye.